Welcome everyone to the October 7th regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. I'd like to begin the meeting. I asked Commissioner Thomas if he would leave some indication, and Mr. Drew Davis, would you please go ahead, sir? I'll stand, please.
Our Father who art in heaven, Father, we just come to you and we thank you for your God Almighty having no power in your hand. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace. Father, we come to you tonight to do the county's business. We ask that you give us knowledge, strength, courage, and understanding. But Father, we know that you know that this is not an easy job. We ask you to give us strength and give us guidance. Father, we pray for those that are here. We pray for our county in total. Father, I also pray for those who are fighting in harm's way that we may enjoy this very right to have this meeting. We thank you for everything you've done for us. Continue to allow us to grow, prosper, and enlarge our territory. We pray in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. The first item of business is for us to adopt the agenda. Does anyone have any modifications or changes that we just put in?
So moved. Second.
Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Next item of business in order is the adoption of, or approval of the minutes of the call meeting on August 28th and the regular scheduled meeting on September 12th. I trust you've had a chance to look those.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to approve the minutes. I second it.
Madam Clerk, have a motion second. Would you please call the roll?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers.
Yes. The next item is under presentation or announcement. We have Mr. Derek Duncan, the Chief Forest Ranger for Georgia Forestry Commission, to give us his annual report.
Okay, Amanda asked me to present our building, where we're at with our building. Tomorrow, they're supposed to sign a contract with the contract, supposed to sign the paperwork so that we'll have a contract in order to build the building. I've looked at the proposal. Just the two office building and the shop building is going to be about $678,000 at the last proposal. And that's including our tower. We'll have a radio tower, and there'll be an oil house there and a radio house, because they're going to move the Wayne repeater, which we communicate on through our area. It'll be on the site instead of out on the Verizon Mike Monroe tower behind the school. So that'll be on site with us. And then, of course, after that, then there'll be some rock work around that's not figured into that 670-something thousand. But the actual buildings will be that. The shop will be state-of-the-art. It's supposed to be the biggest shop in the state. Simply because we got bigger equipment than a lot of counties. So it'll be a nice facility. We're doing the dirt work now. It's 104-foot grade, or that's 104-foot sea level, and we've got to raise that up to 105 foot for the shop. And we're doing the dirt work on that now, so that should be done within the next week. And then they'll start pouring slab and all that. So that's where we're at on our side. The tower is gone. Y'all probably seen it in the paper, rode by and seen it. It was kind of funny, the guys that were taking the tower down, they took two sections of the tower down on one day, and the next day they had to come back and finish taking the tower. They couldn't find where they was at, but they were from North Georgia. Because they saw that tower, they were going to that tower, and they took two sections off of it. They couldn't find it. They called us, and we had to lead them to the site. So anyway, the tower is gone. Starting off with the annual report.
So when do you think it's gonna be completed, the building?
I'm not on it.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, just for,
I know they say it's 6 weeks, once the contract is done, 6 weeks to get the metal building built. I mean, I guess that Herschel probably knows a lot more about that, those metal buildings. I think they have to build them before they build them, you know, it's kind of type deal, so I would say probably summertime. I would probably say next summer. I know this has been a 2-year process already, and I mean, I've been
You've been
before
pushing
y'all
that.
twice at annual reports telling you that we're fixing to
I
build a
was just-
building.
there's a lot of,
Interest.
interest,
That-
and I was just curious, I didn't mean to, and, you know, I don't want you to say
And
anything.
I don't know, I mean, I'll tell you, I've been with the forester 20 years, and when I came to work, Brandon McManus, y'all remember him, he said, we're fixing to get a new unit. 20 years ago, you know, we fixed to build, so, I mean, it's been a long, drawn-out process. The forestry unit in Wayne County is doing good. We lost an employee last year. We had a supplemental firefighter with Ethan Boatwright. He worked at the fire department and he worked with us part-time. Well, he pursued a career in forestry. He got a job with Rayonier Timber over in Homerville. So he moved him and his family closer that way, and he left us, left the fire department, but we're still doing good. Still got all of the regular employees and Pam that the county supplies to us. We do a lot of work with what we got. Permits, we issued 6,663 telephone permits last year. That's when somebody calls the 1877 number and for hand piles, that's what that is. Online permits have picked up every year. A lot more people are using the computer to do that. It's 2,375. We issue agriculture permits. We issued 149 for 1,500 acres. That's a lot of people are converting timberland to agriculture. David Thornton, and they're doing a lot of that. Silviculture, which is burning under trees, clear cuts and stuff like that. Issued 503 permits for 5,612 acres. And then land clearing, that's when somebody's building a house or whatever. We issued 133 of those for 589 acres. Burning assistance that the Forest Commission did last year, we burned for 21 landowners. We burned 1,285 acres. And that's low for us normally, but last year was a wet year. This year's a dry year, you know, I mean, it all plays in the seasons. And it being a wet year, we plowed less, we harrowed less, and we had less fires too. We plowed for 26 landowners, plowed almost 100 miles there. 33 landowners we harrowed for, it was close to 250 miles of breaks. Like I said, last year was a wet year. We only had 31 wildfires last year, totaling 69.91 acres. This year we've already had 22 from July to now. We've had 22, so
So you're on fiscal years?
yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Yes, sir. Like I said, last year was wet. This year is looking like it's going to be pretty close to normal. We usually have about 100 fires, 125 fires, but last year was real wet, so we didn't have a lot of fire. Seedlings, same thing. Wet season, you don't sell a lot of seedlings. Dry season, you don't sell a lot of seedlings either, but we did sell 1,700 seedlings. Some of the
Arbor Day, when is Arbor Day?
Arbor Day is the 3rd Friday in February. That's when J. Sterling Morton set aside to plant trees across the United States. The national one is the same as Earth Day, but it's too late in the year. Earth Day's in April. It's too late in the year in Georgia to have the Arbor Day then, so Georgia's Arbor Day is the 3rd Friday in February, because the trees are already out of plant season. host an annual field day for the FFA. Wayne County had 155 students there. We also assisted with field days in Athens, Charlton, Ware, at the district office, and also at the state level. Firewise programs, we had 2 programs, that was 5,050 people. Forest protection, 16 programs at 126 people. General education, we had 3 programs, 516. Reforestation was 8 programs at 750 people. Arbor Day, we usually do 3 Arbor Days a year. The city of Jessup didn't do an Arbor Day this year, so it was just the city of Scriven and others. Home risk assessments, that's where we go out and talk with landowners and advise them on how they can make their home more fire-wise by moving wood piles next to houses, stuff like that, cleaning out gutters, anything, just we gotta give them a heads up on what they need to look for, because you'd be surprised at people when you go see them, they never thought of stuff that could make their house more fire-wise. So we did 40 assessments last year, and we reached 44 landowners. Equipment, Wayne, we're up 1 piece of equipment. We've got 5 tractor plow units now. We got a semi and a small tractor. In these urban interface areas where people are building in the edge of the woods, and they don't want you to plow, they don't want you to take a tractor that's got a 12-foot blade through the yard. We've got a small tractor now that we can do little stuff around houses, doing pre-suppression breaks around houses and neighborhoods. Still have our water buffalo. That's what we use when we mop up a fire. A lot of times, the excitement of a fire, you see the fire trucks and all that, but in woods, you don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring or 2 days from now, just like we had one Thursday. And we knew there was gonna be some wind because we knew that it was thunderstorms were possible Saturday and Sunday, and we did have some wind. So we have to go out there and just dig in the dirt and spray water and make sure it's completely out before we ever mop it up, what we call mopping up. So that's why we have the water buffalo. We use it and we go out and work the fire breaks around to keep those embers, because all it takes, especially as dry as it's been, 1 ember will start a fire. So Kevin called me the other day, I said, be careful, man, be careful. So, forest management cases, we also go out and assist landowners with anything from insects and disease to conservation reserve programs, cost share, harvesting advice. We don't deal with large landowners because they have their own people that deal with their harvesting, but when you got somebody that's got 7 or 8, 10 acres, they rely on the forestry to go out and assist them in getting them the best options they have. Our RFD program, that's the fire knockers that all the fire departments got. They responded to 191 fire calls, wildland, motorized, and structures last year.
We're thankful to have y'all here, that's for sure.
We appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do for us.
Yes.
Mr. Madry, he works on a different department?
Yes, he's under forest management.
Okay.
We're, the Wayne unit is forest protection, and then he's out of forest management. He deals with something that we can't deal with what cost share and stuff like that. We call Mark, and he goes and assists the landlord.
Derek, I had y'all do something for our family this year. Couldn't ask for a better lunch approach for it. The ranger out there doing all of our needs, and then you come out and make sure that all the guidelines were met. We appreciate the good work we thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
Other city concerns, we have public meetings. We've got a beer and wine license for the Shell Truck Stop, currently known as Freely Express out on 301 North. I think currently Lewis and Robertson own the Freely Express out there, and it's being sold to basically a transfer of license from Lewis and Rollerson, license holder, to Mr. Patel. And I believe all these requirements have been met legally. In the way of background investigations and stuff, so this is to approve beer and wine license, name being changed to here.
Partial action on approving in 11A. This is if anybody's here that's opposing it or anything,
Okay.
the public hearing.
If there's anybody here that may oppose the beer and wine license transfer from Shell Station. Okay, here none, we'll move on to number 9, no consent agenda, number 10, no old business, number new business. Now, we're going to consider and approve that very same beer and wine license transfer. Entertain a motion then.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
Under B, going to consider and hopefully approve the Pink Out Friday proclamation. Generally, the city of Jessup is asked to join the Wayne Memorial Hospital in pinking out of the Jessup City Fountain. This is pretty much being in agreement with and supporting that action. And I have a proclamation here I'll read to you.
Well, the proclamation for this other one's in the book, but that's the one that's Wayne Memorial in the city of Jessup there.
Under, in the,
Make sure that y'all have the book and read it over here. I'll read it. It's a pretty good cause, it's a very good cause.
Yeah,
Pink Out
sure.
Friday proclamation, whereas nationally over 246,000 women and men are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, and in 2019, breast cancer continues to be a common cause of cancer in southeastern Georgia region. And whereas October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, with the aim of increasing the awareness of the disease and facilitating the research into its causes, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. And whereas the health and well-being of our community are enhanced as a direct result of the increased awareness and education regarding breast cancer, and from encouraging our citizens to take actions to lower their risk of developing the disease. And now therefore, we are joining Southeast Georgia Health System, the Susan G. Komen Coastal Georgia affiliate, the American Cancer Society, and communities across Southeast Georgia in proclaiming Friday, October 11th, 2019 as Pink Out Friday. And by encouraging our citizens to wear pink on this day to increase awareness of this disease, to show support and recognition of our neighbors, family, and friends who have been impacted by breast cancer, and to take an active role in helping to make breast cancer a part of our past and not our community's future.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve.
I'll second that. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll? Discussion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, they also encouraging us to, as either commissioner or office, to wear something pink on that Friday and take a picture, and they will put it on their Facebook. So I'm a little early, but I got enough pink shirt I'll wear.
Yes. All right. Okay, under new business, item C, consider and approve the agreement with DNR for a boat rental for Lake Grace. You've all got this in your book. It's a lease agreement between County Commission and Natural Resources to lease a small portion of Lake Grace property for this rental.
Okay.
it's a 25-year lease. They're gonna do most of the maintenance on it, I guess we gotta keep them right over to it.
This is an item that Commissioner McCreary, I believe, worked with a commissioner of DNR with to make happen.
Commissioner Shadis, you gonna make his motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we accept the lease agreement.
I second.
We have 2 seconds. Any discussion? Do you want to explain anything about it? Any discussion?
I know in here it says for boat ramp construction, it's not actually the boat ramp. They already poured the concrete for the boat ramp years ago. What they're looking at is, they just wanted a 25-year lease agreement for 1 acre of property. They're gonna put a boat ramp dock in. As it is currently, you put your boat in, you have to pull up to the bank if it's muddy or whatever, and then you climb in your boat. There's no way to access your boat, except for pulling up to the bank and getting in. They're gonna put in 60 feet of aluminum dock out there so everybody can access their boats without having to get into mud, accidents, things like that. They're also gonna put limestone in the parking lot, and they're gonna have some designated handicap access. I don't know if it'll be handicap accessible from the parking spot, but there will be handicap parking places there for people who have disabilities to be able to get there easier than what it is now. I don't know if you've been down there lately, but there's some washout and things like that, and I think it'll be a good thing for the community to encourage activity out there on the lake.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
All right, will y'all sign those?
Okay. Bear with us just a moment. Okay, while y'all do that, we'll continue on with item D, consider approving the Wayne Service Center lease. And I believe you will find that in your, this is pretty much standard
It is.
operating procedure. We just have to review it.
Two-year agreement, and we've done it, but it's kind of, it's a standard service center lease.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we continue and enter into that lease agreement with the Wayne Service Center.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion second, any discussion? Having none, would you please call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
And the next item is to consider approving T-Splosh 2010 remaining projects agreement. Mr. Shue, you enlighten us a little bit on that?
There are 4 T-Splosh projects left from the current T-Splosh that's been approved in 2000, but actually the revenue started in 2013. They're in the local category, and we have made application to DOT to allow the county to deliver these locally or administer them locally. As part of that process, they've approved that application, but then we have to sign the agreement, which I think you have a copy of in front of you, in order to proceed with that. This is normal. It was something we've done on every T-Splosh project so far. It actually goes hand in hand with the next item about the resolution. Excuse me. The agreement needs to be signed, so we need approval to do that. The resolution basically says that we're approving you to sign the agreement. So at any rate, there are 2 items together that need to be executed. I can answer any questions that you may have on it. I know we talked about that at a retreat, in depth whenever we talked about the arrangement of the T-Splosh system. So if you have any questions.
I'm going to comment on that. These are designated for tier band 3, which starts in 2020. So we're actually not spending any money or get a reimbursement from the state on that. But these projects are specifically identified in the T-Splosh resolution as local over here. So these are just finishing that up. I think local administration of these projects will allow a more
Less
cost effect.
Less
Yes.
costly.
Yeah.
What are the projects? There's 2 of them on Holmesville Road, resurfacing the first portion up to Power Line Road, and then going as far as we can on the portion now that's dirt. We hope to get all the way out to that new bridge that was built a couple of years ago. And then the other are Killingsworth Road resurfacing and Linden Bluff resurfacing. Killingsworth Road, there's 2 parts to it. One, this will be the resurfacing part, and we'll project to reclaim the base on it, or what we call reclamation. So that will pay for the base and the preparation, and the T-Splosh will pay for the resurfacing.
Again, guys, if we don't have bids on these things, then, so Mr. Schuman will be back before us, before y'all, when we get those bids, put in and get approval for going forward with it. But, again, this is slated for 2020 band 3, if you will.
The home, the Holmesville Road, is that gonna be in conjunction with the 2-foot expansion on each side, or?
Yeah, the first portion will, that'll actually be part of the LMIG to do that portion of it, and the base, winding the base, if you will, and then the resurfacing will be done by the T-Splosh.
Okay.
Yes, sir, this,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir, yeah.
So that widening is not gonna go but to Powerline Road. Now, this resurfacing goes out to Old Bethel Church Road, is that not right? So the resurfacing, this project is a little bit further than what we talked about widening because of the trucks entering Holmesville Road. So it'll be a little bit wider from 84 to Holmesville, or to Powerline Road, excuse me.
So what is it you're doing to Linda Bluff Road?
Pardon?
What is the project on Linda Bluff? It's paved already, is it resurfacing or what?
Just resurfacing.
It's pretty rough.
Just to make a comment, out of the 11 local projects that have been done so far, or either in the process, the county has managed 9 of those, and we've been under or at budget on all 9 of them.
Okay, first of all, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement and the signing of approve the agreement.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion, further discussion on that? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Myers.
Yes. Now, the next item is to actually approve giving the authority to the chairman and the clerk to execute these 4 T-Splosh programs. They come in. I'll entertain a motion for that as well.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll say,
Motion is second, any discussion on that? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
yes.
Commissioner Myers,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shubin, appreciate it.
Appreciate the great job you guys did, Mr. Chairman.
And next item is to consider approving the new line item for transit, that's item G in your book.
Commissioner, if I may, Mr. Chairman, and the clerk will add a little more color to this thing. This is a requirement from DOT that they just need to separate out some maintenance items for wheels and tire and tubes and other parts and wheel supplies out of general vehicle repairs. It's just for us to be able to receive our grant money and reimbursement over there. They've asked us to separate that out. The budget doesn't change. The total number is $30,000 for that budget item over there, but they just wanted tires and tubes separated out from and auto parts / vehicle supplies.
So this is basically providing 2 more line items.
Right.
And that would be
For clarification, for the grant. This is new policies that coming from DOT starting in October.
And we've just got to go back and adjust it from July,
Yeah.
not back through the whole year, but now next year we'll have to
That's
have
what
those
I'm
line items on.
I think the motion is,
Do what?
We have a motion.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
Move second. Commissioner McCreary.
Does that include the $5,200 that's on other equipment? Is that part of it that's already been spent?
No, sir,
No.
Because
no. This is to separate the vehicle repairs and maintenance.
I don't think we had
Yeah, we got
did we have any budgeted for that?
30,000 budget.
Well, I was talking about for the other equipment that we spent $5,000 on, I didn't see.
From the train section?
That was the next one.
Do I?
Oh, this section? You doing
Yeah.
the train?
Yeah. Right here.
I don't know, there, Commissioner, you know, it probably was some other item that the DOT requires us to spend on.
That was relocating the cameras that DOT required us to move
Right.
on one of our vehicles.
That's right, it was directed by DOT.
Directed by DOT to transfer the
Okay.
cameras.
I just didn't know if that was part of it, or
No,
if
this
that
is-
was why it had been
no.
added in.
No, this is a separate subject. You know, this is all clarification for the DOT to just keep track of tires and tubes and auto parts from general vehicle maintenance repairs.
All right, any other discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes. Okay, under appointments, I got a phone call and then a subsequent letter from IDA Director, Mr. Dale Keefe, a few weeks back. One of the current IDA members is no longer active with the regional IDA board. And Dale's requesting that we approve and recommend that our local industrial development authority appoint Alan Bosque, the Georgia Power representative, to represent us along with Dale at the regional development authority.
Excellent choice.
And I just asked him if he would shoot that to us and let it be run by the board. This basically will give the local IDA the authority to appoint Alan to represent himself.
Is that just information, you need a motion?
I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hickox?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. Item from the county administrator, Mr. Jeffords.
I think we covered most of the items I had in the work session. I will add this, I got a letter from the city of Jessup, and this is just information, y'all don't have a whole lot to do with it, but they're requesting that they rezone a 150 Henson Mosley Road, which is really right across from the UMS building, from R1 to an R4 to establish an assisted living facility. We talked about that previously over there. But right next to the ball field going into, Sarple Way, right there, it's going to be an assisted living facility. So the board, planning and zoning, and this is the city of Jessup, it's in their jurisdiction, and they have zoning, and we, the county does.
Courtesy.
It's a courtesy, it's right across the street. Periods of time when soccer season's on over there, and it'll be kind of busy, it just reinforces what we talked about in our T-Splosh workshop, that Henson Mosley in that area is going to grow, and the
Yes.
traffic pattern is going to get higher and higher and higher, so, that's just part of that. And another thing of their bill, Mr. Thomas, you asked me the other day, the submission of projects for the T-Splosh has been put in for the county, and I think I would say to all the other municipalities.
All the cities do.
So all the projects that were y'all approved have been submitted and are updated. We had a deadline of October
11.
11, yes.
Yeah, that was discussed in the regional commission meeting I attended last week.
So we're in good shape.
Yes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Hickox, welcome back to America.
Yeah, good to be here.
Coming to America.
Coming to me. Well, first of all, condolences to Mike. I'm sorry about your brother-in-law. Also, it's been a kind of rough week for the county, losing Mr. Rivers Clary, and Franklin Burge, and James Boyd, some real outstanding people in our community. Hate to hear that coming back. I was expecting to see Sean Medley had asked about closing the road. Did he not give y'all to put that on the agenda? Sean Medley.
Commissioner, I was waiting.
Cameron, man.
Cameron, well, Sean's, yeah.
Commissioner, I was waiting on your direction on that. If you want to put it on next month's agenda,
Yeah,
then we
please
certainly, we have to close it, we have to advertise it 3 times to close that. So if that's the direction you want to go in, then, I mean, we put it on the agenda right now, or put it on the agenda for next month to do that.
Yeah,
If we do that, I'd let it advertise it, that's what, if y'all want to go, then they'll give us direction to advertise it, and then y'all got to vote on it after that.
Yeah, put it on next month. I'm sure
Yes,
most of
sir.
here I'm not aware of the stats and that. We basically got time to consider it a little bit.
This is in Country Garden Estates.
Right, it only affects his property. What's the status on the landing contract? Are we done with that now? Do we have a vendor down there selling rooms now?
No, we don't. Actually, I was gonna bring that up under items, under my items, but
You can go just take it under yours. I was asking a question. How about the hill that we voted on letting that go to the tourism board? Do they now have access to that?
The tourism board came back with some exceptions to what y'all approved on.
What is that?
And so it's in their ballpark of there that it was associated with, that they wanted to, I don't have it in front of me, but I think that y'all had a thing in there that all rent would go back to the recreation department, and
That's not what we said in the meeting.
that's what was approved by y'all. That was in the thing, so.
I think we can check the minutes on that, because that's not what was said. That was
I didn't
brought-
write it up.
That issue was brought up, and that
Commissioner. You know, this is all that I was given, and they had some exceptions to that over there, and if y'all want to go do it, they were gonna get back, they have not gotten back with me at all. And then on the J.C. Landing, we're working on that, and there was exceptions to a paragraph, or several of them, and there was agreements on a lot of terms that the individual wanted in there. Most of them we modified and we agreed on except for one paragraph. And we're back to that. I'll let Mr. Beaver elaborate any more, or the chairman, from that standpoint, but we're almost there, we're just not there.
Well, the situation with the tourism board, they brought that up in the middle of our meeting, that if they spend minimum $25,000, that they were gonna be the ones booking it, and we agreed on that in that meeting.
No,
Go check the minutes.
check minutes. I think our agreement was is that the billing still will be scheduled through the rec department.
I don't think you're right on that.
Well, check minutes.
All right, we didn't do that.
Well, that's where we stand. We can bring it back up, Commissioner, but nobody from the tourism board's come to me. I got some feedback from Commissioner Roberts on it up there, but other than that, they have come back, and they were gonna work out some details. I haven't seen anything from them. There was an exception to that. What I've heard from the board, what I know about what the improvement is that the scheduling of it is gonna come through the rec department, and they had some, they dispute that, so.
Why would they spend $40,000 on the building and then turn around and they have to schedule their own event through the rec department? That don't make sense. All right, next. Animal control. I want to put my 2 cents on that. I think that for us to wait till November 11th, I don't think we should wait till November 11th to make a decision on it, and we don't have, I'm disappointed that it was not left to January 1st along with y'all. I think we have an obvious choice there. We're going to need to hire someone. I think it should be made, decision should be made sooner rather than later. That's just my opinion on that. I think we'll probably have a call meeting about that. The other 2 issues I got is kind of going back on when we had our audit. We were told that when we asked Mr. Harris about how often we should amend. We should wait till the end of the year, should we wait till it was over? He said not every month necessarily, but on a regular basis. But we're here in October, and we're not even considering amending the budget, and that's going against what our auditors told us. And lastly is the purchase orders. We have an ordinance on that. It's not a policy, it's not a suggestion, it's an ordinance. We keep saying we can't, not we, Jeff keeps saying we can't follow it. Then I'm going to ask if that's the case, that the ones who don't agree that we can't follow it, then how about make a proposal to amend it so that we can make it something followable? But to continue, and we got dinged on that issue too. That was brought up on that same audit, to keep ignoring an ordinance rather than fix the ordinance. I'm just saying, that rather let's get dinged again this year for the same thing. That let's put it on the agenda, let's have a work session, let's decide on what is a workable. The whole reason you have a purchase order is to keep from having fraud, misspending the money, and to have it on the books and not follow it. If it's not followable, then it's our position should be to fix it, is it not?
I can't agree with you more.
Now let's do it. Let's stop. We've done with ding them never all
I
every
totally
year.
agree with you, Commissioner, got a lot of priorities
I
out there.
personally think it's fine where it is. So if those people here don't agree with me, then make the proposal to change it. But if we're not gonna make the proposal to change it, then we need to follow it.
Yeah, I'm
We
pretty-
got no reason we can't have that on the agenda.
We put on the agenda, we do that. Mr.
Good, that's all I'm
I
asking.
don't control on the agenda too. I mean,
No, we do.
That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Roberts?
I want to give the rec department a big thank you for the whole year this year. Our middle grade game's been played out at the rec department, except, maybe for 1 or 2 at the high school, but they have prepared the fields, they took care of the concessions, they've done a lot of good things. And I know all those kids that play in the middle grades have enjoyed that. And then I just want to give y'all a little update here on something we're planning. Since I've been working with Specs, we've been talking back too. We're planning a championship field. So we're gonna tear down the 2 fields at Bill Morris Park, keep the girls softball field, and then we're gonna build a championship field that'll be 225 foot. It'll have super stands. It'll be like the field over at J.J. Reddick's field.
Yeah.
It'll be like his. So then kids, when they come and get to the championship game and they play in that, it'll be big time for them. It'll be exciting. And because I told Spec, we're not going to put a synthetic turf in there yet. He got the hold up on that, but
Tell them what the girls' field is.
yeah, it'll be a girls and a boys field. And my wife wanted to be sure and tell you guys that she really appreciated the flowers and everything you've done for her during this time. It was one of them difficult times for her, but she's coming around. She's going to be okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Yeah.
Mr. Close?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman and the board, administrator, Amanda, I want to echo those same sentiments of the death and milk family, the flowers that you sent. It was very much appreciated. During those times of bereavement, every kind act is appreciated, so we appreciate it. I want to commend the rec department for the job they're doing. I want to commend the road department for the job they're doing. I always tell this gentleman here, he's valuable. We can't pay him what he worth, but we pay him what we can. Anyway, other than that, we just need to go ahead and put these 2 things on the agenda and vote on them and get them straight. I think when it comes to amending the budget, I think that it depends on certain items you can amend it to. If it's an unseen cost that you can't put a figure on, I don't think you can amend it on that. You have to wait until you have something to amend. So I go along with that. I can even go back and tell you when that policy was voted in. Back when Mike Gill was here, I think he had 2 commissioners, one to fire, so they wanted to tie his hands, but we won't get into that. It's on the books. We need to deal with it. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the fine job you did at the legislative update. Yes, sir. It was a good meeting. You did a great job. So I want to thank the county administrator for what you're doing. Continue to do it. We see a light at the end of the tunnel of this thing we're in, and it's not a train.
Thank you. Mr. Perry?
I also want to remember the 3 fellas that passed away this month. I don't really think we know what an impact it's going to be on our lives because of the changes that they made in this community. Franklin, huge farmer, lots of knowledge. Revis Clary, same thing, lots of knowledge, would give you that information anytime you wanted it and help you out with anything you wanted to do. Mr. Boykin, willing to help anybody, anytime, anywhere, any place. do whatever he could do to help out this community, and whether it was donating supplies, cranes, whatever. But I think we can all agree that we are going to be saddened by the loss of them, and we're going to miss them very much. You know, you can't express enough sorrow to the families. All we can do is be there for them and pray for them, and that God will lift them up and keep them at peace, the peace that He can only give us. Also, sale of property, do we hear anything on that?
Those bids went out, and y'all approved that we would open up the bids in November 4th meeting, or right before that.
Okay, so.
Yeah, so because of the hurricane coming through last month, we had a short
So
month
we're
up
gonna
there.
do 2 next
Mr.
month?
Beaver, right, the
Okay.
2 months next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In light of animal control, I would like to make a motion that we do hire a code enforcement officer, because we have an ultimatum, and I realize some of y'all don't have anybody that it's really going to affect that much, but my entire district is going to be affected by animal control, which the city said that they are no longer going to take care of those problems in the county after November the 11th. And that's why I make a motion that we do hire a code enforcement officer. I realize there's a lot of details that'll have to be worked out, things like that, but I feel like that, as Mr. Jefford said, we've known about this since March, and I believe we need to go ahead and get the ball rolling, because I don't want, for one, the county to be at liability for a, you know, we have a lot of calls on dangerous animals, whether they're rabid or whatever they are, but I feel like it's our duty as as commissioners for the health and safety of the taxpayers, to go ahead and hire an officer. That way they can help the city out. I don't know if y'all remember, but the tides kind of turned on that. We had a 30-day agreement with the city that they could cancel within 30 days, and they chose 40 days to use that option. And I think we're going to have to make a decision one way or another, and I think that this is the first step we need to make in getting that started, is to, so I make the motion that we hire a code enforcement officer which can assist the city with animal control.
That's a motion, I second it.
Motion, second, discussion.
Yes, sir. I disagree with that. I think we need to sit down together, have a call meeting if we have to, and discuss how much it's going to cost, and work out logistics on that. We also need to involve the sheriff in this. We just can't hire somebody and not involve the sheriff in it. So I disagree with that totally.
So you're proposing a work session on that?
I'll call it. Whenever y'all want to, with me.
My input on it is pretty much the same. First of all, I'd rather not have a motion that's not on the agenda, an item that's not on the agenda be voted on. Made that mistake one time, it was off the state. And also, we need to work out some details on how we're going to include those people being authorized to enforce the codes and ordinance. So I agree with Mr. Thomas. We need to call a meeting, have that item on there, and try to have some things resolved.
Wouldn't that be the same as Chris Griffiths? He's code enforcement, correct?
No,
He's
that's
not,
totally different.
he doesn't enforce any codes,
No.
building codes?
Yes, he does building codes up there, but he's really focused on building inspection and building codes, yes.
He's not classified as a code enforcement officer. Code enforcement officer generally would be someone with some enforcement powers, ticketing powers, law enforcement powers, especially when you're dealing with animals.
So he can't find anybody for building codes violations? Because I've seen
He
him.
does, and for
Yeah,
trash.
He can't
He sent a letter out.
take an animal off of somebody's property or make an arrest.
Well, we're just saying code.
And those are the details we need to work out in the work session and not.
So you want the bill inspector to pick up dogs?
No, it's not the same.
No, he said that that Chris is not a code inspector enforcement, and he is.
I think the motion was just to agree to,
Motion about the dog, didn't
to
it?
hire a position, but we can still discuss how to do that.
Yeah, we need to have the sheriff present. We got chief deputy back here, we put him in charge of all that.
Well, gentlemen, you got a motion and a second. You want to withdraw your motion, or you want us to vote on it? Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Myers,
No.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
No.
Commissioner Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's put it there, man, comment, we're done.
All right, what we need to just go ahead and put up, let's decide on that call meeting.
Let me look at my calendar, Commissioner, over there. I got a lot of activity in the month of October, and we'll get one prior to the November 4th meeting. I'm gonna be out the last week of, I can do it on October, find a time on October 14th. You wanna do it on the 18th, which is
What day of the week?
a special day for me, but
18th on Friday.
or 17th, I'd rather stay off Friday. I think I got
17th on Thursday.
Yeah, I like that. I
18th.
like 17.
Do or don't?
I like Fridays.
If
Thursday's good.
we're gonna veer away from Friday, we'll send it as late in the evening as we can.
Yeah.
Kevin, how about you?
I'm good. 17th of October?
Yeah.
Hang on just a second here, let me verify.
And I'm good with any sooner than that. I mean, I know we have a lot of
Well, I'm
stuff.
gonna be gone the latter part of this week, and I just, next week, my schedule's getting pretty busy up there, but I can do it anyhow, if y'all want to meet, whatever, October, 17th is next Thursday.
That's right.
So I think, to be honest with you, we need to have some discussions before that.
You want to invite the sheriff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
it's 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the afternoon. Will be 5:30. 5:30
On the 17th,
on the 17th.
Can I tell you one thing? If we're gonna do that, maybe we should also invite someone to represent the city, because one part of that may come up with, are they gonna provide the pounds? That's part of it. Because providing the pound, if we did hire someone in that position, or if we did put them on sheriff, we didn't know the pound's still part of the deal.
They already said it was. so
I
don't
think we
see it.
discuss this among ourselves, then we can get it.
The city already said that
They already said
pound's
what they
still
gonna
gonna
do.
be there?
That was,
Yeah, they
that,
were gonna give
but
them
they
the
also
key.
said they were gonna give it till the end of the year, and apparently changed their mind on that. So, how about this, how about Mr. Administrator, how about reach out to the county manager and see if that impact still holds?
City manager.
Yeah,
See if it still holds.
Yeah.
that's on that.
Then we'll have an answer prior to that.
Because that's make a difference. If they're gonna charge us for the pound, then that's all we're
Right.
thing.
Okay, so if everybody's good with 5:30 on the 17th?
Good, I'm good with that.
Special. Call me. All right, I wanna reiterate what you gentlemen said on our losses. I've known all three of these fellas pretty much all my life here since I was elected. To watch Franklin Birch at the go-kart track, James Morton putting up lights at the baseball field, and of course Travis Clary at fertilizer place. And, we won't be able to even realize how much their loss is gonna mean to this county. All I can do is strive and think about them every time there's a decision to be made or look in the future, is to think about how they would handle it. I respect all of them greatly. Revis lived in my district, and wouldn't hesitate to call and give you his advice or invite you to take his advice. And again, I respect it dearly. But, we did have a good session in Athens. A lot of things learned moving forward with next year's agenda of the legislature and what the Association of County Commissioners is going to push for to help locally. And It's probably one of the better courses that I've been to since my new commissioner. That's pretty much all I have. And no further business, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Done deal. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending.